have to do that because I'm not sure. You start doing your belt ceremonies. You Are you? Okay. Now, Miss, how long? She better do this, Joanne. I get
3 3/4 years.
3 3/4 years. So essentially 4 years. 4 years of dedicating your life to achieve something that very few people that walk around the planet ever get to say. That you tested. You tested for black belt. I mean, and all of you know, if I came to you, or if I go out in like a little Walmart right now, and I stop somebody and I say, "What does black belt mean to you? What is the word? What does that phrase mean to you?" Of course, they would say quality, character, good attitude, great technique, all those things. See, you know that inherently about what black belt means, so that really means something. I mean, it really does mean something. So she dedicates 4 years of her life, no guarantees. No guarantees. That if you walk in that door and you come out on testing, you're going to have good testing. Or that you'll even get a chance to test for black belt. And even if you do get a chance to test for black belt, there's so many variables that can happen. Forms, one-steps, sparring, board breaking. So you know,
Mother can get hit by a car.
or get hit by a car. And I'm talking to all the students here. When you test at this rank, you got to pass all 4 sections. You got to do forms, and you have to pass that section. You got to do one-steps, you have to pass. You got to do board breaking, you have to pass that section. You got to do sparring, you have to pass that section. So if you have really good forms, really good one-steps, and really good board breaking, but you mess up on your sparring, you get a no change. That's what happened. And then you can come back to next testing, and you can do everything really well, but mess up on your boards. That's a no change. You've got to pass each section. Not only do you got to pass each section, you got to do it as a first, as a red belt for this. You got to do as a red black belt for first recommended black belt. And then if you get first recommended black belt, you got to do it again for first decided black belt. There's one more thing. Once you get first recommended black belt, you've got 1 year to test for first decided black belt. 1 year to test. Don't test, because in 1 year, we send you back to this. So you don't, when you get a first recommended black belt, you don't sit on it, because first recommended black belt is not the goal. The goal is what? First decided? Say it. First decided black belt. First decided black belt. But so it always impresses me. It always impresses me. Particularly when somebody so young will dedicate 4 years of their life, which is what, 13? 14? 14. So 1/4 of her life, did I do the math right? 1/4, no, that's no. 1/3. 1/3 of her life, she's devoted to martial arts. She could have been home watching TV. She could have been out playing soccer. She could have been somewhere else doing something, but she wasn't. And she had to be in classes where we worked her until she cried, until she fell from exhaustion, until she got so frustrated she was beating her hands and feet on the floor, and had to spend a little time on the disabled list because of all the contact from free sparring. And you know what? If you just don't give up, good things happen. And now Lucille not only is the first recommended black belt, but is also a black belt. Remember, her belt's been hanging up there. How long have you been looking at that belt?
Like 4 years.
Like 4 years. But guess what? She gets to put on that first recommended black belt! That's seasoning right there, you know. That belt went up there. It was crystal clear black with all this. For that dust over there is seasoning. Okay, so you can't. See, all that dust represents all the hours and hours and hours and hours you spent here working out. You can't wash your belt. You can't ever wash your belt. So I'm not telling you have to brush the dust off. I'm just saying that's good.
And he's keeping up her school grades.
That's right.
Woo!
Give Lucille another round of applause. long time for this one. She's waited a long. 17. She started 14. So 5 years ago. So Monique, where's your grandma?
Right here.
So Dorothy brings in Monique. And now, as a teenager, now joining martial arts as a young child and going into your teenage years is a lot easier to do than starting as a teenager, like 13 and 14, and then going for, because you know all those things that just kind of just make their way into your life. You know, extracurricular activities, football games, road trips. I don't remember what I did as a teenager. I'm sure they were all good things. Anyway, so Monique, this is what Monique does. What Monique does, she decides as a young teenager to dedicate the next 4 or 5 years of her life to become a first decided black belt. Now, I'll just give you a brief history of, if I had to sum up Monique in one word, it would be injured. Monique, first year, she breaks her ankle or your foot. What was it? That thing down there. She breaks that, and then she comes like in a brace, and then she breaks it again. So now she's broken the same thing twice. And oh, well, she's going to give up now. I mean, you break your foot 2 times in a row, and you're 14 and you're a girl. I mean, forget that. I'm going to do something else. So, no, Monique had a real funky brace, shoelace-looking shoe thing, and still work out in class. Okay, that's dedicated. So, make a long story short, over the course of the years, she's broken lots of things. She has had a broken hand now. She tested in a cast with a broken hand. And this girl is tough. I mean, she's tough. And I don't mean just physically tough. I mean, those of you that saw her test or have seen her test, her board rankings, this girl is fearless. She's fearless. That's not what I mean. That's not what I mean. Because I've had many conversations with Monique, okay? Well, right? I've had many conversations with Monique. And one of the main topic of almost all the discussions we had is, Monique, I believe in you. I believe in you. You're going to be great, but you've got to do the work. You've got to do the work. I can't do it for you. I can help guide you, but you've got to work hard, and you can't give up. It's just like Miss Gonka or Sandy Gamboa, or who else, Mr. Shipley, Miss Kane. If you come in this school, and if you don't cut the work on the floor, and you don't perform it out there, you don't receive the rank, and I don't care what we feel about you, how much money you pay, makes no difference. Because this means too much to me to give it away. It means way too much to me. I'm sure you feel the same way. So I told Monique, you do the work, you get the reward. Now I need to say this in the nicest way I can. She could have quit. She could have said, that's enough. She could have done that. That's enough. I got my first recommended black belt. That's enough. I'll have to do no more than that. But I think in the last year I've seen Monique change more than I've ever seen her change. Because she's been testing for first decided black belt now for 1 year. 1 year. Think about that. She tested, and this is a lesson for everyone. She tested, got no change. Then she tested again and got no change. She gets tested again. So when you're walking up a mountain that high, easy to quit, isn't it? That's easy. But everybody in their life, and I know the adults know exactly what I'm talking about. There comes a time in your life, I bet right now when I say this, you'll know exactly what that time in your life was. Where you come to a major fork in the road, and you got to take left or you got to take right. But you got to take one of them. And the course you take determines the rest of your life. You guys know what I'm talking about, don't you? And she came to that fork in the road. I can't walk before, so I'm standing there. Okay, which way are you going to go? Which way are you going to go? I'm ready. Which way are you going to go? You go to the left and quit. Well, it's been nice. You go to the right. I'll do everything I can, but all the burden's on you. And this went the hard way, 1 year, and did not give up. Now, if she'd come out on that floor and not perform, what would you have got? That's right. That's exactly right. But not this day. Because on this day, Monique Snell is now officially a first decided winner. Her first doesn't get it tonight. Monique gets it in the April testing. So she's got to wait 2 more months to get her all black uniform and her border belt and all the cool stuff that goes with it. And the reason we do that is not to torture her anymore, but we want her to receive it in front of people that are testing to show you guys that yes, people actually do what she does. And that's worked really hard to earn something that means a whole lot. And that's why we give it out of testing. So that's why I put that tape on there, because what that means, she's first decided like that's what that means. 2 months from now in April 30th to be exact, she is going to receive her uniform and her belt. You can wait there. Gifts, money, smiles! Anybody? Okay, Mike, Stephanie, has that been you posting those videos of Jim on Facebook? All right, this is, wait a minute. Where's Jake? Give Jake a round of applause. Those of you who had the testing know, same thing about Jim. I like Jim a lot. I've known Jim for a long time. Jim had an issue with testing, an area of concern. He would have a no change just like everybody else, right? Yes, sir. Okay. So, one of the things I've always admired about Jim more than anything else is, and I'm going to put this the right way. Jim looks for quality in his life. That's really what I'm trying to say. Which is a great compliment to me. Because not only did Jim decide to join my school, but also my son. And Jim has said to me on more than a few occasions, Master Wayne, the reason I like coming to the Family Martial Arts Center, and the reason I like what it is that we do, is because we set a standard that's uncompromising. Our standards are not for sale, they're not compromised. And Jim has known over the years, and Ms. Kane has seen over the years, a lot of students that come through the school that for XYZ reason decided not to do the work, or it wasn't their time, or whatever reason, and we never pushed anybody forward, ever. It's like, well, okay, you got to do it. And if you don't do it, you cannot belong to what it is that we're trying to do. Because this is the only way that I know to create self-esteem. This is the only way that I know to do it. You set a hard goal and you obtain it. I don't know, there aren't any shortcuts to self-esteem. There just aren't any. So if you want something in life, if you have a goal, if there's something you want to become, this is what I recommend you do. Set a hard goal and obtain it. That's how you get. That's how at the end of the night you put your head on the pillow and go, today I did the best I could with what I had. So Jim now gives me the ultimate compliment, and that is takes our exact methodologies and styles and then decides in Claremont to plant that seed somewhere else. So Jim could be doing something else. Just like I said, Monique could have done something else. She could have been watching television and done something else. Jim, and Jim is a very talented man. There's a lot of things he could be doing, but he's not. Because when 100 years from now, or 500 years from now, nobody is going to know or care if I was a 6th-degree black belt, or you're a black belt, or you're a red. Nobody's going to care. 500. Nobody will know or care. But 500 years from now, the students and students and students and students and students and students that I've got will be making a difference. So in that respect, the teacher touches eternity. Eternity. As long as people walk the planet, somewhere in the world, somebody is going to be learning martial arts because of this school and have no idea it even existed. And that is powerful, because that changes lives. That's what he's doing. So just like when I brought JD and Chad, when I brought you up, this is what you're going to remember. Okay? This is what you're going to remember. Because that man right there, remember that road I told you that goes like this? Guess who's behind you going this to the right road? Right. So you guys go like this. Do what he says. Okay? You want to know why? Because nobody in your life will ever love you as much as your father and your mother. Nobody. We like to share the moments with our Jim folks, right? Because now Jim is halfway there. Second recommended black belt. Give him a big round of applause. This ends our belt ceremony. Once again, I deeply appreciate everything you do for us and Mr. Shelby. And we're going to bow. Have the students stand up. We're going to bow. Don't run anywhere. Give me another minute after that because we're going to take the 50-50 drawing. We're going to draw a name, and then we'll be glad to hang out for pictures or whatever you want to do. Again, I deeply appreciate you coming. Thank you very much. March 12th, we'll see you in Claremont for the Magic Demo. Okay. All students stand up. Be together. Go. Pull out. Suba Smeda. Salve, Salve!